Morning everyone, in this video we're going to be designing an inhaler from Cyberpunk 2077. We're going to be using Plasticity and then we're going to bring it to Blender to texture with Material Works and then we're going to render it. So let's go. Now just before we start, very briefly, if you're really into 3D modeling, then check our Academy 2.0 program. It's a robust curriculum containing all the courses, also add-ons and assets. Now Plasticity courses are coming to Academy, and if you're gonna lock in Academy right now, the course is gonna be injected to Academy for free, so it's a really good deal. So go ahead and check it out. The link to Academy is in the video description. Okay guys, let's start with a cylinder here. So let's just drop a cylinder here, and I'm going to cut this kind of a shape on the side. So let's just go ahead and slash it. Don't worry about the size at the moment, and the height, whatever, it doesn't matter, you can always extend it. Let's just nuke this and then select that Alt X and, you know, copy to the other side, mirror this. So now here what I want to do is I want to cut this with a curve. So we're going to grab this one. So hold and click, and we're going to go from here like that, maybe here. This will do, I think. So see, and cut it and then remove that. This is way too I think it's a bit too deep, so let's just slash this on the bottom. Let's nuke this one and nuke this one, and now we need a cut here. So let's just go on this side and, you know, go through this point here, and now I want to align it more or less with this cut here and then cut it. Alright, now it's not gonna be perfect, I'm pretty sure, but it's gonna be close. And in order to make this perfect, we can always remove this face and then we can bridge these two. So select them two and bridge them. Just go to F command and search for bridge. And what we can do now is, in fact, before we bridge this, you see this tiny bit in here? It's gonna cause problems, yeah? So we need to imprint it. So Shift-I and imprint it. And we're gonna remove these tiny faces, if we even can. Let me see. Shift-Q and imprint it. Switch to normal. Let's see now. There we go. Shift-X this one. And Shift-X this one. Okay? And then what we're gonna do is select this one and patch it. And that didn't work. Okay, let's just nuke this edge then and bridge these two. Shift Q and bridge, and then one more time patch. You want a G1 here, okay? Then we don't need this. Select this one and press X to delete it. Perfect. There's a gap here. You see that gap here? That's the problem. So we want to fix this. So let's grab this point here one more time. Go to side view, zoom out, and let's just cut this one more time. Yeah. So very closely here, like this. Okay, and then C, cut, remove it, and now it should be perfect. So now I can alt click this and patch it, and G0 on every single corner, and that looks good. Okay, so there we go, that looks cool, and now we can have some fun. So here what I would do is I would bevel this a little bit, not to the end, just a little bit, maybe this one as well. So start beveling and just click on this bevel, which should technically work. That doesn't work. Let's try bevel and click. Look at this. Alright, so we're gonna do it differently. So start beveling here. Okay. And then hold Control and click on this edge. There we go. Now what I want is I want to mimic this curve going this way and cutting this above this fold here. So because I want to, what I want to do is I want to, you know, create this kind of a bottom part here, right? So I want to borrow this edge, but I can't borrow the whole edge. I need to borrow half of it. So what we could do is run a loop here with Control R, okay? There we go, and grab this one, Shift D. And we're going to move this here and make it slightly bigger. We could also rotate it a little bit like this with shift. There we go. So let's move it somewhere here. It's GG. And then grab this one and just run a straight line. You want to combine them into one. So shift click and J and then C and slash it. Now we got two parts here. We can bevel this, but we can do it later. Actually, we can do it now. So let's just go to local view and bevel this one. Let's go back and then select this edge here, right? Start beveling and then click on this bevel. And it's going to create identical size bevel. So we're good to go here. Now we can create this connector here. But before we do, actually, let's create this this thing. So cylinder here, right? Press B. It's a bit too thick. So let's just, too long, sorry. Let's just narrow it down and make it a bit bigger. Then we're going to select that and rotate it. You can hold Control to align it to the edge. And we're going to put it somewhere here. And extend it into the body like this. Actually, wait a minute. Let's not do that just yet. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a cube. Grab a cube here. Press B. Move it somewhere here, make it a bit larger, and rotate it again like this. And we need to mirror this to the other side. So mirror this, actually let's just bring it a bit closer. Press Q, and then we're going to scale this on Y-axis, something like that. This one should be bigger. So SS and scale it, there we go. And this one should be also slightly bigger. And now we can actually chamfer it. Or bevel it, even better, like this. And you can hold Control and select these edges to do the same. Okay. Now, in fact, I'm looking at this, would be cool to sweep this up. So let's grab these two and go to local. And we're gonna LD this one and nuke this because we don't need it. We're going to run a curve here. Like this, right? And we're gonna bevel this one. Okay, and we're going to move this. So G, Y, here, hold Control, boom. And now we're gonna be able to sweep that. So select that, sweep, and select the guide. Boom, let's just deselect everything, go back, and see that's a bit better. Alright, so with this now, what we can do is combine these together. But before we do that, this is a sheet, which needs to patch it, so it's a solid. And then we can QQ them together, and then we can create a bevel here. And then we can create a bevel here. I think this is going to be pretty cool. Let me see that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. And then we can actually merge these together as well. So let's just cut this here, because we will not need that. GG, lower it down, and then C, and cut this one, and remove this bit. So now we got this one left and this one. We can combine them. QQ, okay. And then we can run a bevel here, okay? Just a small one. Don't overdo it. A little bit larger maybe. And before we do that, let's run bevels here. Tiny ones also all the way up here. And before we run this one, we need to run this one. You see, there's an order of beveling, right? And it's very important to understand how it works. So first bevel here, then it's going to create like a round transition. Then what we could do is actually run a bevel here as well, small one. Then if I alt click this, you will see that we're going to have flawless bevel all around, I think, right? Okay, and then we can mirror this. So tiny bevel here. This will be fine. and then we can mirror it to the other side. So Q. Now when you're creating these macro bevels, make sure that you're not gonna be doing anything crazy in the more visual mesh, because it will not work. Right? See, like here, good luck doing that, right? So in this case, technically what we could have done is bevel this one first. So let me just try that. So let's bevel this one first. And then we can actually select this one and bevel it here. So hold shift, and you see in this transition gonna be much better. And then we can run bevel here. So, and this one could be a little bit larger, right? So there you go. And now it looks really cool, sort of like molded together. So now once we've done that, let's just cut this. Oh, what happened here? Oh, we sliced this because we were slicing this top of the of this element. So we need to repair this. So just simply grab this face and pull it up, and you're done. Plasticity, man, it's fucking mental. In Blender, this would take a little bit to fix. Still, some things are actually easier in Blender still, but for this kind of stuff, polygon software, just good luck. All right, so here I'm going to move this somewhere here. I'm gonna slice this, and we don't need that. Now I'm gonna grab this ring, Shift D and GV to switch the pivot and move it somewhere here. And I'm gonna scale it to something tiny, GV. All right, this will do. And now we need to create this profile. So there are many ways of doing this. So what we could do is just run an edge like this, okay? Here on the side, all right? Let me just do this in a straight line. So from the middle to the middle, okay? And let's just attach this. And I will see if it's yeah, that's in the middle, perfect. And then we can shift S this to subdivide it, and we can actually create this kind of an indentation shape, right? So let's just go to the top view here like this, okay? And then just move them in like this, all right? And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna revolve it. So I use revolve, and then just simply draw along the axis that you wanna revolve around, okay? And you're gonna get this shape. So then we can combine them together. QQ. That didn't work because this is a sheet. So let's patch it. QQ. There we go. Nuke this one, and then we can just run a bevel here, okay? You can grab this one and create this kind of an inhale intake. Now here we need bevels because this goes into your mouth, and whatever goes into your mouth should be soft, unless your name is Amanda. And here, let's just, oh, I can't wait for Reddit to be offended by it as well. He's such a sexist guy, oh my fucking god. Wow. Just click here. And we got this one, right? Let me see that. Yeah, that looks fucking peachy. Alright, that's cool. So that's good. Now here, let me just mirror this because that isn't mirrored, I think. There we go. Now here we could have some, because you're gripping this, right? You're gonna be holding this while pressing the top of this thing. So what we wanna do is we wanna save the file before it crashes. Although I'll tell you, Plasticity hasn't crashed on me once, which is crazy. So what we're gonna do is we're going to create edges here like this, okay? And we're gonna scale them a little bit on Y axis. And we're gonna array them down like this, okay? And we're gonna imprint them on this mesh using hide occlusion, so they will not go in, they will not get imprinted through the mesh. And just nuke all these curves, we don't need them. Select all these, right? Press P for pipe, and in fact no, Shift D first, then P for pipe, because we actually wanna boolean this together. So there's like a indent here. Then we're gonna press Control 2 to select edges, and we're going to bevel this, and we're gonna select the side of this pipe. This should actually create a full bevel, but it doesn't work in this case. But we can click here for full, and that didn't work. Well then, in this case, we're just gonna bevel it a little bit. So one more time, B. Maybe it just doesn't work with so many pipes. Shift, select this one, Q, Q, and boom. How we're looking? We're looking peachy. I'm not gonna be creating micro, what you call them, fillets, because we can do it in, in Blender. So now this one is kind of done. What we also could do is slice it here, right? So let's just tap shift here for a straight line, move it somewhere here, and then C and slice it. So then in Blender it's gonna be very easy for us to, create a different mud here, right? Can't be bothered doing it manually, so, so it's really easy, right? There you go. And now we're gonna fix the top. So let's just grab this one. We can now decide how tall it's gonna be. So this is too tall. Something I would say, yeah, something like this. So there's actually this bottle sticking out, and you can press it down, right? So that's good. Now we're going to bevel this on the top here. There we go. And then I'm going to hollow it out. So actually, before I bevel this, let me just insert this here. Grab this, move it down. Let me go to the Alt Z so I can see what I'm doing. All the way down here. Perfect. And then I can actually bevel this, right? As a small bevel. There we go. And then we're gonna cut the side here. So let's cut the side here. We'll create a slightly different cut, just for fun. In fact, you know what? This angle here could be borrowed from something like maybe this one. There we go. So we're gonna have some echoing going on in our design, which is kind of important. These three corners are the same, so we can bevel them together. This one is different, so we're gonna bevel it separately. And we're gonna cut it through, remove it, and do this one. And we're going to bevel this. There we go. Now we're going to borrow this bottom here. So just offset it slightly, Shift D, and then select this bit here. Move it slightly higher, and then extrude it. Somewhere here, and then just run a soft bevel on top. Also, we're gonna cut the top of this here like that. So GG, drop it a bit down. So here we're going to duplicate this, right? And we're going to imprint this. So imprint it on the shape. Press 3, and let's just make this a bit smaller. Select these two faces. Make it smaller. I'm gonna like a tiny cut there. And just bevel this. Hang on, let me just zoom in. There you go. Don't have to really bevel these inside, but we could. Okay, that will do. How we looking? Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, and now what we need to do, we need to kind of create a mechanism here that you can see that's, it's gonna be pressed down. So let's just drop this down here a little bit and cut this this thing here. Let's just chamfer this and then create two bevels. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to grab this face, move it up like this. I want to chamfer it, small chamfer. And then, in fact, let's just make this face a bit smaller. One time chamfer here. Select the face in the middle, and we're gonna create this kind of like a pin in the middle, right? So, something that goes in, whatnot, and delivers the the goods. There we go. So we can see that, and you know, this could be slightly lower, so we could just nuke these for a second and do something like that. There we go. And bevel them. Peachy. Now I do want to cut in the front as well. Maybe from the bottom here, get a smaller one, or slightly from the top like this. Yeah, this could work actually. Bevel that. And then we can't cut it because it goes through. So what we need to do is we need to imprint this here. And then just run this face through. There we go. And then grab that and borrow this bevel here, and I think we're good to go. Now we need to mirror this to the other side to grab all the bevels. And I think we're good. Let's just go to preview, MaxDoc preview. On the top we could have some additional detail. So let's just turn the edges back on. You know, something like this. I think it's gonna cool. There we go. And also here we could create a slight notch, like a pin or whatever, something you can attach to your, you know, like to your keyring belt, whatnot. Do you know what I mean? So in fact we could run like a what you call them, like a clip that, you know, kind of dangles down, and you can hold it or attach it to something. So let's run an edge here through the middle. So let's click here, go to side view and run this through. So let's just grab some flat edge, there we go, and move it in here. Then let's just scale this on y-axis a little bit more. Cool. And then we can just create some kind of a, you know, kind of a design here. Like that, mirror to the other side. This one isn't symmetrical, so let's just simply combine these two. It's gonna be easier. And then just combine them together. And it didn't work for some reason. Let me see that. Okay then, let me just go to local view, and I'm going to cut it. Select that, Control C, and use the cutter. Here as well, actually. And delete these, there we go. Then we can select this one, join it, mirror it, and then join them together. There we go. And then we can run bevels. So these are the same. So we can run bevels together here. And then we can run bevels here as well. So B, something like this, and then P for pipe. There you go. Let me just grab the panel because I hit it. And we don't need these curves, so we can just nuke them, right? So there we go, right? Since we're done, we can go to Blender and see how it looks in Blender, right? So let's open Blender and let's go to End Panel and Plasticity, connect, refresh. Yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. All right, so we're gonna go to Mods, Material Works, because reasons, and HDRI. Let's grab one of these. Plastic Shiny. Let's apply this one here. I'm gonna make it red. So red and dark. Really red. This one's gonna be rubber, but not so dark. I mean, sorry, yeah, not so dark, kind of darkish. And this one could be metal, so metal could be half matte steel, or it could be graphite steel. Oh, that's actually nice. And then I forgot to separate this bit here, but fuck it, I can't be bothered. This one could be coated grainy, but we're gonna make it not so white. We're gonna make it kind of grayish. There we go. And this one actually could be the same, to be honest. Or we could make this metallic, you know, just for fun. There you go. All right. And the rest is gonna be decals. So let's just collapse this and let's just run a plane. The plane needs to be bright because it's gonna drop some nice light on the model. So plastic and shiny plastic. Now this is a bit too shiny, so let's just drop the roughness a bit to make it a bit more matte. Just drop it down. There we go. Let's grab a camera, smart cam to view, and let's just 135 this and lock it to view. There we go. We can rotate. Whoa, we can rotate it. In fact, you know, before I do that, let me just align this properly. There we go. Then we can rotate the camera a bit. Zoom it in. And this one will need to be dangling down. So R. And we need to, let me just unlock the camera from view because it's going to be tricky to do. So let me just go to local view. And this is going to be on the y-axis, right? This is disoriented as fuck. So let's just move a cursor here. So let's just grab this edge, move a cursor here, also origin to edge and cursor to edge. There we go. So let's go back and then R and let's say rotate on cursor. R, Y, and just rotate it down, so it's gonna be dangling down like this. And this floor needs to be rotated too, on the y-axis. Right. And we're gonna have to rotate the lighting because this will not work. So do something like this. Boom, right? Move this plane somewhere here so it's closer, but not too close. Something like this, right? And of course we need to move any closer on this object because we are way too far. Something like this will do. Unlock. And this plane, unfortunately, cannot be too close because if it's gonna be too close, it's gonna clip through our, you know. But we could rotate it on the y-axis like this, right, to see a bit of a shadow here. So something like this. Move it on Y to the front, but not too far because you see we're losing this nice bounce light here. So something like this would do. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to put some stickers on it. So let's go to decals and this one, Zola Labs. That's gonna work nicely here. It's a little bit bigger, so there we go. And drop it. And you know, I'm gonna actually leave it like this. I mean, we could make it a bit darker, so color disconnect and make it darker, so it kind of mimics the handle. And here on the side we could have some digits, some kind of you know, whatnot, serial number, whatever. Somewhere here. And project, boom. And it's a little bit strong. So just dropped alpha just a little bit and boom, right? Maybe not as much, 0.9. There you go. Okay. And here on this one, we could have another sticker. I don't know, something like that. And adjust it. There's going to be ZYY to scale this. It's a bit too big. And then SYY. And then D and adjust it. Scale it a bit more. Adjust it a bit more. Scale it. And this should do. Project. And this is going to be a little bit too strong, so we can just drop this a bit. There we go. Alright guys, well that's it for the tude. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.